All right. So welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to go all in and connects them with professionals that can help them do it. Today's guest is Farrell Middleton with the Bell Curve of Life, and he's going to tell us what he learned about teaching and coaching.
Good morning, or actually good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me. I'm really glad to be here. So what can I help you with today?
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about like what got you into wanting to coach and teach other individuals and businesses.
Okay, I have always wanted to be a teacher of sorts in my second career. I was a lifelong home builder, and I thought that I would be teaching at the university level, construction management skills, but I developed this program about 5 to 7 years ago, and it is a unique program. And it just relates to circumstances people find themselves in on a routine basis, personally and professionally. And it is my desire to help people live a better life.
Wow, okay. And when did you start the Bell Curve of Life?
I officially started it in June of 2022.
Okay.
But that's the when I left home building. But I've been working on it for several years. You know, you got to get ready, got to ramp up, got to get all your stuff done. And that's what I did. So I've been a little over a year and a half at this point in time.
Wow. And so how's it going so far? I mean, what have you learned? I know you just started networking about a year ago, right? So
That's
what
correct.
have you learned with the networking and all of that combined to go with your coaching business?
Oh, gosh, the networking is so important for somebody getting out and starting a business. And I was very fresh to that. Again, I was a home builder. I was an operations guy. Never did networking. I didn't have to. It wasn't part of what I needed to do. But what I have learned so much from the networking is that it has given me an opportunity to really craft the message that I want to share with people. And these networking groups, everybody gets a half a minute or so to stand up and tell what they do. And so that's been extremely helpful to me on that. But the issue with networking, what I've come to learn is if you're going to get involved, you have to show up routinely.
Yes.
People have to see you. You have to be dependable. It's visibility. It's credibility. That is a fundamental key if somebody is going to join the networking arena, which I have done, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I've gotten to know a ton of great people. I've really enjoyed it.
I know. Networking has been tremendous for me. It's helped my business tremendously as well. So that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about like what did you do, like when you were starting your business, what would you have done differently that you didn't do while starting?
I probably would have gotten into the networking scene quicker than I did.
Okay.
I made an assumption, probably like most business owners do, that I've got a good product and service. People that I've known for a very long time are going to engage with me, and I'm going to get business, from those folks. Well, it just doesn't happen that way. And I've talked to a lot of other business owners as well, where that contact base that you might have had in your other career, let's say, I had another career other people might not have, but it just didn't materialize the way that I thought that it would. And so I was probably a few months later into the networking game than I should have been. Reflecting back is very valuable, of course, but that's probably what I would have done, is getting a little more exposure for my business and going that route with it. So that's one big thing I would have changed.
Awesome. So now tell me what worked very good for you, like when starting your business. What is something that you can tell somebody else that wants to start a coaching business that worked really well that they should try that?
Basically what I was able to do, I always had a very clear message as to what I wanted to do. And for example, one of the groups in my coaching business that I want to get involved with are what I call the younger, less experienced managers. All right, I was a manager at the age of 22, and I've managed hundreds and hundreds of people over the years. And that group of people right now, especially with the challenges that we have in just the workforce in general, with retention and turnover and that kind of thing, that's a big issue. So what my point there is that have a very clear idea of what your message is and the service that you want to provide. And if you can focus on that, then that's going to give you a really good way to start in getting your message out.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for that. So you've become an expert at coaching now. So tell us what that is and why it's important for other people.
Okay. Yes, I believe that the coaching is very important, and it's actually gotten more popular in the business world. Years ago, it had a bit of a stigma to it. People didn't want to, admit that they were being coached by someone else.
Right.
But what I've come to explain to people is professional athletes, they have coaches and trainers for their entire career.
Yes.
They need it all day, every day. Tiger Woods has a swing coach, best golfer that's ever lived. LeBron James has a shooting coach. He's one of the best basketball players that's ever played, that kind of thing. So basically, coaching is very good. And one thing that it does is it will give a business owner or leader just some different perspectives on a routine basis. What else is going on out there in the world? Because everybody gets so busy that they get tunnel vision and they're only focused on what's happening in their business, in their world, on a routine basis. And that routine basis can be 5, 6, 7 days a week sometimes.
Yeah.
And they just get so buried in it that they lose perspective of other things.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most healthy things of having a coach spend a little bit of time, an hour or two a month even, is just great, just to extract yourself from your daily grind and talk to somebody that doesn't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah. Okay. And so how did, I know you kind of told us a little bit already of how you developed the skill of wanting to do this. I know you mentioned that you developed something 5 years ago. What was the message that you...
What I developed, and again, the name of my company is called the Bell Curve of Life. And from middle school, everybody could or should remember the bell curve. There's 20% in the high skilled category, 60% in the middle, and 20% that are kind of lacking in either skills or performance or whatever. And I used to manage this way. Again, I was a manager for 36 years. And in the construction world, let's say I had an on-site superintendent building houses for me in a neighborhood.
Right.
There were 3 things he had to be good at. He had to be good at scheduling. He had to be good at job site condition, and he had to be good at finished quality of houses. And let me throw the she in. I've worked with many she's as well in that, so he and or she. Well, one guy might be really good at scheduling, but his neighborhood doesn't look very good. One guy might finish a house really, really well, but it takes him too long to get it done. And so each of those skills, they're in a bell curve. They're 20% is really good, 60 is okay, and 20% needs some work. So I used to manage people that way when I would do annual reviews. I'd say, okay, Joey, for example, you're doing really good in this area, but we need to step it up in this area. Life's a bell curve. They're everywhere. You get 3 people in a room, and you got a bell curve.
Yep.
And somebody can always do better at some particular skill.
Okay, I like that, and you have never explained that to me, so I actually like that.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad I got the chance to do that today.
So, how can our audience develop that skill specifically and focus on that to present to their customers?
Basically, again, it's just a matter of knowing your product. And with me, with my coaching, one of the things that, and I like to do some public speaking as well, and that's part of what I'm doing. You and I spoke about that a few minutes ago. But the biggest key to me is if you understand your material, and if it's your own material like mine, okay, so I created all this in my head, that kind of thing, so I'm the expert on it.
Right.
But if there are other areas that you want to present in your coaching business, then if you have a grasp of the material, you can't mess it up. You just can't.
Right.
You know, you're the guy, you're the person, guiding someone else or whatever. And if you get into some territory where you're not very familiar, you're probably going to stumble and fumble around a little bit and that kind of thing. So a word of advice is know your material and know what it is that you want to do, and you will be able to help your clients. You'll be able to provide that service that they're paying you for. To be very clear, they're paying you for the service.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for that. And then also, so what impact did this skill have on your life, like personally and professionally, inside of business and life?
Well, the one thing that it did for me is that again, as I said, I was a manager for a very long time. It helped me be a better manager. Okay. There's no doubt about it. And I've got good management skills. I developed them early in age. And as well in the speaking in front of other people, a.k.a. public speaking. I would read in church when I was a child. I won an oratorical contest when I was 12 years old. And so this comfort level of being in front of other people and trying to guide or teach them, it kind of comes a little bit naturally to me, I suppose. And so I'm very comfortable doing it. And again, if you are comfortable doing something, generally you're going to perform better at it. So that was one thing that worked for me very well. So it was a big deal for me.
Yeah. And how does this fit into the future of your business? Like, what does the future of your business look like to you?
Okay. Excellent question, by the way. Thank you. I want to engage with business owners and leaders to help them create healthier and more productive business environments.
Okay.
And I do that by engaging with them and their staff members. And we focus on positive attitudes, effective use of time, problem-solving ability, team dynamics, that kind of thing. So as I continue in those group settings, I just want to engage with as many business owners as I can to help them create a better environment. And also, I'm doing some what I'll call some one-off events, lunch and learns. I
Yep.
want to go to periodic staff meetings if they're looking for an outside speaker to come in,
Okay.
offsite retreats, and then, like I mentioned earlier, trade association meetings. I'd love to be a guest speaker at trade association meetings. My material is what I call universal. They're practical concepts that relate to any business, and basically, they can relate to any group of people I get in front of. It's not specific to construction. I do have some construction-related stuff. The majority of my content is what I call universal. Anybody can relate to it.
Yeah. Okay. So now I want to know, thank you so much for telling us that, by the way, and for explaining all of
Absolutely.
these things. I hope
Yeah.
that somebody in our audience will benefit from everything that you've told them about
I hope
coaching
so,
today.
yes.
So tell me, if you weren't coaching, is there anything that you would if you could do anything you wanted to do, would you still be coaching, or is there something else you would want to do?
Gosh, that's a good question. Well, I'll go ahead and get it out of the way. I will be 60 this year. So let's say my athletic skills of being a professional golfer or tennis player have come and gone. Okay, so I couldn't do that anymore. But no, you know what? I think I had a wonderful career in home building, 36 years, like I said. But I have always wanted to be a teacher of sorts in my second career. So for me to do this, I've got too many years left. Like I said, I'm only 50 and I'll be 60 this year. A lot of years left. But candidly, I don't know that I would want to do anything else other than this. I was a bartender years ago. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, it got me through college. Yeah. It was a great job in college.
I was also a bartender before I
Really?
did credit
Okay.
card processing.
Yeah,
So
that's a little physically demanding. I'm a little too old for that. But no, I've just got a lot of practical experience I want to share with as many people as I can, especially the younger generation. I think I could really help them live a better life and just be better performers, better producers, better professionals, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I don't really see myself doing anything else at this point in my life.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. Okay, so what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you or tell you, what does burn the ship mean to you?
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of, golly, in history, I guess the historical side of things, when Cortez came to America, he told his men to burn the ships. It made them very motivated because they had no way to get back to Europe and get back home. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind with burn the ship.
That's awesome. Okay, so we actually we created this podcast during COVID to help people, to be able to still meet with people, because in credit card processing, we need to be face-to-face with people. Well, during COVID, nobody was face-to-face.
Okay.
So this was kind of a form of being able to see people and still meet with them virtually, or, if they were brave enough to come in and meet with us face-to-face, they could.
Right.
So burn the ship to us means burning your ship and going all in on starting your business.
Okay.
So tell us, now that you know what burning the ship for us means, what has it done for you, and why our audience should do it too.
Okay. Basically, well, that's a good question. With me, I transitioned out of my home building career, and that day, it was May 31st of 2022, that was all in my rearview mirror.
Wow.
Okay, I was done with it. I left. I gave my company a 4-month notice. Okay, so we were able to work through transitions, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They got their my replacement in, all that kind of thing. And so, basically, with that, I was able to go all in with my business. I'd been working on the material, but I started getting out there again. Not as much as I should have done. When I look back, but I was ready to go, and I didn't have what I'll call the baggage from my former career, where I had to go back and take care of some things and do other things. But I was able to make a clean break. And my suggestion would be, anybody going into this, if they are able to do that, it just clears your mind. It lets you focus on what you want to do, and that to me is the most important thing. If you can focus properly on what you're doing, then you will be successful. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yes, that's awesome. All right. So how can we help you? Who are you looking to get in front of that will help you grow your business?
Okay, excellent. My ideal client would probably be a company or a division of a larger company that has between 30 and 150 employees.
Okay.
And I'd like to get with them, again, the owners, with my material. I've got some leadership material. I've got middle-level manager material and what I call traditional staff level. And in order to get those middle managers I mentioned a few minutes ago, I got to go through the owners to get them.
Yeah.
But I really like getting into companies of that size because they have different departments or disciplines inside.
Yeah.
And I like to get managers of different departments in the same room with my material. It's all about personal growth and teamwork and problem solving, building relationships. And that whole part of my business is called internal customer service. It's a big deal, and that's where are your internal employees and your close external partners, are they all working together to produce your product or service? And if I can get in a group with all those people that count on each other every day, then that is an optimum situation for me. And for them, actually. It's not for me, it's for them.
But it helps you too.
It helps me too, absolutely. Of course.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. And so now tell our audience how we can find you, some contact information, where we can go and look you up.
Excellent. My website is The Bell Curve of Life. Cell phone number, 678-618-2024. I used to even give that out to my homeowners. I'm not scared of anybody. I do have a YouTube channel, The Bell Curve of Life, and I've got about 35 short little videos on there, and I'm doing that. I've also got what I call a Focus with Farrell campaign on LinkedIn, where I've got a little 60-second spot that comes out every Wednesday morning, and it's just a tip that relates to my material. So go to my YouTube channel, take a look at it, and get in touch with me. And my email address is farrell@thebellcurveoflife.com.
Now, is your YouTube channel The Bell Curve of Life also?
The Bell Curve of Life, it is, yes.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, please do. There's some really good content on there. Everybody can learn something from watching one of my little videos.
Okay.
Everybody can. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on to Burn the Ship today and telling us all about your business and what you did to get there and how you got there. I just loved hearing your story. So thank you for coming.
Well,
and I hope that you were able to help somebody in our audience today as well.
I hope so. That's what I do now. I help people live a better life. So I hope I was able to help your audience out quite a bit. But thank you so much for having me here. I've really enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you.